What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Awaken Soul Podcast. I'm your host, CEO Haize. And if you want to follow me, you can do so at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. You can go ahead and follow the podcast at Awaken Soul Pod or at the Awaken Soul Pod. We have a dope show planned for you guys this week. This one is based around transparency. Welcome to my dark and twisted, crazy ass mind. I am Haize, and this is, as you guys know, for the viewers, the Awaken Soul Podcast. For the people who just listened to the podcast version, I already gave you guys a whole intro, so I'm not going to do that again. But this week, during the End of Mind and Haize segment, I just have two topics for you guys. So we did have probable cause for felony murder charges coming down in the Ahmaud Arbery case, which is something that we've been paying attention to in the culture. And we also, we got the video that came out about it, and, people are rightfully outraged by this. And when we talk about like the price and the worth of black male lives, this is something that, it got a lot of traction, thank God, and thank God that the Georgia Bureau of Investigations has had in 36 hours they came down with charges in this after this has been going on. I think he originally got shot at the end of February. So the fact that we're getting some traction on this is good. What I want to make sure that we keep focused on is the trial as well, whenever that does come down, because we've seen it before in the culture. It's happened. We'll get convictions or charges, but no conviction. So we need that to happen. We need everything to come through and on this for those that are following the case. I haven't really talked about it on this platform either, because as you guys know and who've been listening to this podcast for a while, police shootings and that stuff really does get to me and it wears on me. And with already a pandemic going on, it's just I've kind of talked around it on different platforms, just because you got to know what you can and can't deal with. And I just wasn't in a place where I was able to talk about it in a conductive way. It would have just been a rant, a passionate one, but it would have just been a rant on why motherfuckers are allowed to do some of the shit that they were done, especially since nothing had came down up until that point. So we're glad that we're getting the correct movement going forward on this now. And yeah, we just gotta stay on them about it. We got to stay and not rest until we get more than just what we're given. So the Georgia Supreme Court, it's on them now, and so we'll see how that continues to go. And I know I said I had two topics. I actually have three, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the next one. This next one is really positive. Just one that I want to talk about, and that is Magnolia, the new spokesbaby for Gerber, and I believe she is the first she's the first adoptive child to be on this, and she's just a beautiful black baby. And it's good. We haven't had just a lack of positive news so much during this pandemic that I really wanted to say that. So just Google Magnolia Gerber. Her picture will come up. Just a beautiful smile and her little head wrap and everything. And it's, she was the winner of Gerber's 2020 photo search contest. And she's 1 year old. I think she's 1 year old as of yesterday when this announcement kind of came down. So just a good thing. And I'll put a link in the description for anyone who kind of wants to quickly find this. Oh man, this is just really good. I know I said I only had two. I got one more. So this is coming down. I'm recording this the day after the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu battle. And what a great moment for the culture. And I know some people said it was boring because they did so much talking, which they did do. But I think for people who look into these battles outside of just the music, for an experience, for entertainment, for stories behind the scenes, like Erykah Badu told a story of when she saw Jill Scott perform. I can't remember what city she said it was in. Maybe it was LA. And Jill Scott was like, yeah, I remember that. I tried to see you backstage, but you had got out of there. Like, those are the moments that, as someone who follows music and culture and everything, that it was just beautiful to do. Jill Scott is a poet, and she's amazing at what she did. And, after watching that battle, I'm sure there was a couple of babies who were going to be made, if I'm just being 100% honest. It was a beautiful thing to get and listen to. And, everybody showed out for it. Michelle Obama was in, like everyone who was in there, of course. I'm surprised that didn't break down Instagram, but, maybe Should I talk about Tekashi? You know what? No, I'm gonna save that. You're gonna hear, if you want to hear my thoughts on the whole Tekashi 6ix9ine. I know I tweeted something out, but if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts on that, you're gonna have to tune into the Breaks Radio. But to stay on Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, it was just beautiful to see these two queens do their thing. The music and just, man, this Verzuz thing is just, I love the way that it's taken off, and I want to see more. And I talked about this on the Breaks Radio. I really hope that we do see more women show up and be able to engage in these battles. I think on the Breaks Radio I pitched Eve and Missy Elliott, but there's really no competition hit for Missy Elliott. But just it's just beautiful, and I'm glad that something like this did come out of a time and was birthed because of, you know, people just needing to do something with the whole pandemic going around. And, you know, we're getting close to things reopening. We're going to see how everything responds to that, but outside of all that, I'm just really glad that we're getting things like this from this. So but that's it on my end during the End of Mine and Haize segment. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take a break. You're gonna hear from another Breaks Media podcast, and then on the flip side of that, you're gonna hear the First Lady with the Cookie Chronicles before we get into the main topic discussion for this week's show. I'll see you guys right after that.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.